Is it like too bright? It's too bright, right? Okay. Hey everyone, it's me again, Brittany, and I'm here today to do... I feel really bright. Okay, I'm here today to do my September TBR. I know it's coming a little bit late in the month. I just started a new job, guys. I honestly haven't even read so far this month. It is currently the 10th. So let's hope for the best. I do want to mention I am casually participating in the Avatar: The Last Airbender readathon that's going on. I don't really know what team I'm going for. I feel like I would rather be an Avatar, but I put a lot of pressure on myself the past few months. So if I just turned out to be a Firebender, that's totally cool by me as well. I don't know all the challenges. I actually don't have it in front of me right now, so I'm just showing you books that I want to read this month, and I'm not showing you that many either because I don't want to overwhelm myself. I feel like last month's TBR had me stressed. So we're doing something a little bit more my speed this month. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I would like to read this month is Saga Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. Everyone has been raving about Saga. This was actually on my TBR for last month, kind of loosely, but I ended up not reading it, and I've started it. I think I'm on like page 20 right now. So that's really cool. This has to do with two people from warring planets who meet and fall in love and have a baby, which is absolutely unheard of, absolutely disgusting to their two planets, and they somehow have to survive and keep this love alive and keep their child alive in a world that doesn't want any of that for them. And this is actually told from the child's perspective, which is really interesting. It is kind of like a space sci-fi style graphic novel. It is pretty graphic for a graphic novel, so just gonna throw that out there. I mean, it starts with her in labor. Like, this is page 1. Am I shitting? It feels like I'm shitting. I am really excited to read this though. I have been very into graphic novels lately, and I just feel like this is gonna be a great new addition to my graphic novel love. So I'm excited to read this month. I know it's gonna be fast. I like the artwork already, so I can't wait to see how the story goes. Next up, we have Shadowcaster by Cinda Williams-Cheba. This is actually on the books that I want to read this year list, so I definitely am excited that I'm going to be getting to it this month. The audiobook actually just got into my cart from the library, so it's definitely going to be something that I listen to. I've really been enjoying Cinda Williams-Cheba's books. I've listened to them all on audio and I really do enjoy them. It's not like my favorite audiobook. I don't think there's anything particularly special about them, but I enjoy them. I have a good time. The story itself is really, really good. So Shadowcaster itself is actually following a very reluctant princess of the Grey Wolf throne, and it is actually in the same timeline as Flamecaster, at least in the beginning. So it's kind of showing what's going on in a different part of the kingdom while all the events of Flamecaster unfold. And Flamecaster was crazy, let me tell you, but it had all of it happen not in the kingdom that we're used to. It's great to see the other side and see the place that we had gotten to know in the Demon King saga. I am really enjoying this. I actually did start it today, so it's already up my alley. I know that this is going to be something I enjoy. I'm really glad I'm getting to it just because it is on that list and I like checking things off. I have had a few questions, by the way. You most definitely have to read the Seven Realms series before you read the Shattered Realms series. I've gotten a few questions on it. It directly follows the events of the Seven Realms, and there's so much talk about the people and the events that happened in that series, and it wouldn't make as much sense without having read it, and it also wouldn't impact you in the same way if you didn't read it. I fixed a little bit of a setting on my camera and I feel like this is better. I'm sure you guys are sick and tired of seeing this on my TBR, but I 100% believe that this month is the month, and that is The Poppy War by R.F. Kong. Yeah, I really feel like I almost don't even need to summarize it because I think I've been talking about this for like 5 months now, but I literally have less than 100 pages left, and I was in such a good place when I left off on it last month. I just knew that I wouldn't be able to finish it by the end of the month, and so it was something that I put down because I wanted to try and complete my Newts TBR. We'll talk more about that in my wrap up. Stay tuned. When Ren aces the Keiju, which is an empire-wide exam to test the youth of the empire and get the best of the best to go to their academies, not only is she accepted into whatever academy she would like, she has a full ride scholarship to the most prestigious academy in the Nikara Empire, and that is the Military Academy of Seingard. She thought the hardest part was going to be acing the test, but little does she know that the hardest part is yet to come, because she is about to be in a school of very rich, very privileged teachers and professors that just don't understand how a poor war orphan like herself could possibly be as smart as they are, and she receives a lot of hate on that aspect. But she's not going to go down without a fight, and she is going to dabble in whatever she needs to become the most powerful and the best in her class. This follows a lot more than just her academy journey. That is something that I will tell you from right now. It is very fast-paced, it is very dark, it's so gruesome. I can see why people would have issues, because I finally reached a part in the book where this is very uncommon to see in even fantasy. It was just a very detailed description of the ransacking of a city and the absolute demise of that place and what those soldiers did to all the people. So that is where I'm gonna warn you got the darkest for me, but it didn't hit me, I feel like, as hard as maybe everyone else so far, but maybe in the next few pages, maybe in the next 100 pages, I'm gonna be in the same boat and be like, oh my god. But I'm not there yet. I still am very enthralled, very eager to see more. I don't know what that says about me, but yeah, this is gonna be the month. And if I don't finish it by this month, I'm gonna cancel my booktube. Like, oh, who am I? What kind of booktuber am I that I can't even finish a book that I love in like 5 months? I canceled one, that's who. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Dark Dawn by J. Kristoff. Book 3, the final book of the Nevernight Chronicles. Of course I would read this book, guys. I know that I'm a big like backlog reader. I almost never read new releases, but this is Dark Dawn. This is like one of my favorite series of all time. Yeah, I'm gonna read it. So let's kind of talk about what it's about, just in case you've been under a rock this entire time and haven't heard me gush about it yet. Mia Corvera has had one goal since the absolute destruction of her family, and that is to get into a very high-tier assassin school so that she can one day get vengeance on the people that orchestrated the event. But maybe getting there wasn't the hardest part. Maybe it's going to be surviving until her graduation. And for all of this, she has maybe one friend, and that's gonna be Mr. Kindly, her shadow cat, who gets to be her friend because of her very rare power of being able to speak to the shadows, which might make her an even better assassin than others. But it might not. I've loved these books. These are also dark, these are also gruesome, these are so interesting. This school setting was so fascinating, but it only lasts through Nevernight. Dark Dawn, I don't even know what this is gonna have, but I know that God's Grave led us in a completely different direction than I ever would have guessed. It has so many qualities of books that I love. It has that badass assassin, it has that vengeance plot, it has a lot of very steamy and spicy romances, and I love everything about it. And it has a talking cat. Like, that's something I never knew I wanted until this happened. So yeah, of course I'm gonna read it. Of course. Let me know if you want a reading vlog for that. I might make one. Someone was asking me for it and I was like, that might be a really cool idea. So I might have already started it by the time this video goes up, but also let me know, do you want a reading vlog for Nevernight? The last book on my official TBR for the month is going to be They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This is another book that actually landed in my library reading cart audiobook. I use the app Libby most of the time, if you guys were wondering, and that is how I read so many audiobooks for free. So this one just landed in that cart, so I'm definitely going to be getting to it this month. It's another one that's on my books that I need to read this year list. So this one has intrigued me from the start. I've never read an Adam Silvera book, and I know that that's like a big what the heck for BookTube because everyone stands for Adam Silvera, and I'm excited to see what it's all about. So this one particularly is quite dark, and we follow Mateo and Rufus on the day that they're supposed to die. Because in this world, you get a phone call the morning you're supposed to die, and they let you know to get your affairs in order. And there's so many programs set up for this kind of system. There are programs to meet other people on the day you're gonna die. There are programs to cross everything off of your bucket list on the day you die. And so, Rufus and Mateo both sign up for an app to let you spend your last day with someone else that is going to have their last day, and they get to spend it together. And we get to watch their last day as they do all of the things that they would have wanted to do, and maybe get to see them both die at the end. Because I have an inkling that that's exactly what's gonna happen, mostly because it's in the freaking title, guys. It's in it. I can't imagine that it's not gonna happen. So I'm readying myself to get attached to characters that are just gonna die. I love that for me. We love that for me. So yeah, I'm excited about it, and I'm excited that the audiobook got in my cart just because I do definitely want to read this, but I feel like it might be a very enjoyable audiobook experience, so I'll let you guys know. And then I have a couple of books that I'm not really going to talk about because they are very soft on my TBR books. Like, they're books that I've been considering reading for quite a while, and I might get to them this month, but I'm not gonna hold myself to it. I just wanted to let you know just in case I do read them. And those books are going to be Archenemies by Marissa Meyer, the second book in the Renegades series, because Supernova is coming out very, very soon, and I definitely want to try and read it before that comes out because it's another series that has found such a wonderful hole in my heart. Found it? Filled it. Filled such a wonderful hole. I cannot say this. Filled a hole in my heart, and I absolutely adore it. So I really want to read Archenemies and see what it has in store. And for whatever reason, I've really just been staring at Priory of the Orange Tree on my shelf. This is a book that I actually really don't know much about, so I couldn't even summarize it for you if I wanted to, but I know I want to read it. So let's hope for the best, and maybe I will read it this month. I do plan on reading this physically, so it just depends on how much I finish, and maybe I'll get to it, maybe I won't. But I know that it's a thick boy, and I might end up having to get the audiobook. I don't know. She's heavy. So those are all the books that I want to read this month. I do kind of, again, plan on softly participating in the Avatar: The Last Airbender readathon. Stay tuned. I will definitely show you more of like things on that when I'm doing my bullet journal video, just because I do like making spreads for readathons. That's it. That's it for this month. Reading 15 books a month for the past 2 months is not manageable for the rest of my life. I don't have a social life when I do that. So let's just try and keep it small and sweet. I like how I say small and sweet, but that's still like 7 books that I talked about. That's way more reasonable though. Yeah, let me know if there's any readathons you guys are participating in this month. Let me know if there's any books that are on my TBR that are on your TBR as well. I would love to know that. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I am so excited to film more for you guys as my life gets more in order, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!
We're beautiful creatures.